Hello everyone, today I'm going to share with you on how we can design an effective flipped lesson based on the 4 pillars and 11 indicators of flipped learning. In the context of the 21st century, flipped learning is a new pedagogy. This new pedagogy is where instructional learning is done at home, and this frees up time for increased classroom interaction. This enhances the learning of our students. This presentation presents some food for thought as we embark on the implementation of flipped learning. We will also be sharing on the 4 pillars and 11 indicators of flipped learning, where teachers must incorporate the following 4 pillars into their practice to ensure a successful flipped lesson. These are some considerations in implementing a flipped lesson using videos. Are videos the correct instructional tools? Consider if a video is the correct tool. We should not be using a video for the sake of using one. We should ensure that the video is fit for instructional purposes. There are many sources available such as YouTube, SLS, amongst many platforms. Should we be able to find one that fits our purpose, we can attempt to produce our own videos. However, there are also considerations such as your comfort level when speaking and recording yourself. If you do not feel comfortable doing so, you might like to start your flipped learning journey by using the videos produced by other colleagues. When using online videos or videos made from colleagues, ensure that it is fit for instructional purpose and that the quality is up to your standards. When thinking of video production, perhaps Hollywood comes to mind with big cameras and expensive equipment. Let's expand our understanding of how we may produce our own videos. Instead of simply filming ourselves talking using a camera, you might like to consider the use of a screen cutting software such as Camtasia or Awesome Screenshot. Even better, Awesome Screenshot is free for clips for up to 5 minutes. You may like to consider the use of PowerPoint to record yourself, just like this PowerPoint presentation itself. You can also use the screen recording function of our iPad, which essentially functions as a screen casting software in itself, and best of all, this function is included in the iPad itself at absolutely no extra charge. If you are concerned about the time needed to produce videos, you might like to consider recording yourself teaching physically in a classroom for a year, and then use these videos in the following year. Video production does not need to be an expensive affair. We are not aiming to be Michael Bay to film Transformers Part 10 to the tune of $150 million. In fact, if you think about it, the recording equipment is at your fingertips. The phone, laptop or iPad you are now using to watch this video is the exact tool at your fingertips that you can start to use to start producing videos. A screencasting allows you to record what you see on your screen itself. If your device has a touch screen or compatible pen like an Apple Pencil, you can use it to make annotations and write as you record your video. This is especially helpful when you need to annotate a diagram or perhaps when you need to write mathematical symbols or Chinese characters. Some classrooms may even be outfitted with an interactive whiteboard. These too can serve as a tool for recording. Your device should come already with a suitable built-in microphone. However, if you wish for a better quality in your recording, you may like to consider purchasing an inexpensive microphone. Modern laptops have suitably built-in cameras. However, you might like to consider increasing the quality of your recording by buying a separate webcam. For certain purposes, such as recording of physical exercises, you might like to consider purchasing a video camera. What are the stages to making a video? Very first, determine the objective of your lesson and whether a video is the most appropriate instructional tool to accomplish this goal. Flipping is not just about making videos. It is recommended to begin recording videos using material you have already created. Over time, you will become more comfortable and know what to include in your videos. Recording the lesson means you'll need to sit at the computer with a webcam, microphone, and writing device. You will then teach the lesson to an invisible audience. You can choose whether to write and use a script or not. More importantly, know what your students need and give it to them. You can do as much or as little editing as you want. Post-production editing allows you to remove mistakes instead of re-recording an entire video. You can also highlight and reinforce what has been said in the recording with a visual cue that will help student understanding. Finally, you just need to publish a video for your students to view. This could be on an existing platform such as YouTube that your students can use, or even other platforms that they're familiar with, such as SLS or Google Classroom. Our students are of the YouTube generation and they want things in bite-sized pieces. A general rule is one topic equals to one video. Do not be overly ambitious. The only thing you have to engage your students besides your slides is your pen and your voice. Remember to change the inflection of your voice and make the videos exciting. It's likely to be boring to watch a teacher talk all the time. A conversation is far more engaging than a single talking head. Consider collaborating with a fellow teacher and perhaps have one of you take on the role of the student learning the material while the other takes on the role of an expert. Humor always brings interest to videos and can help to engage your students. Remember that your students are watching the videos on their own time, so don't waste time talking about irrelevant content. Keep to your topic. A call out is a text box, a shape or an object that will appear for a while in the video and then disappear. These can be helpful to show steps or emphasize key points. Often the important part of the screen isn't the whole screen. Zooming to the important part of the screen adds to the student comprehension, declutters the screen, and helps the students focus. Since the videos will be posted online, remember to follow all appropriate copyright laws. Consult experts so that you do not infringe on the copyright of others. The basic concepts will have been introduced to students via the use of videos. This will then free up time in the classroom for more meaningful interaction with your students. I will be sharing the following slides on some examples on how to make use of FaceTime more effectively in the classroom. In language classes, time could be spent with the teacher making certain comments in the language to be learned, while students can respond accordingly. In math classes, teachers may use the time to allow students to interact with physical or digital manipulators to deepen their understanding of the concepts. They may also use the time for students to apply the concepts, and the teacher may circulate around the groups in class in the role of a facilitator. In a humanities classroom, teachers may use the time for students to discuss and debate about the concepts instead of simply presenting the content to them. In a science class, students can engage in more inquiry-based activities and teachers can conduct more in-depth experiments. In a PE class, when teachers make videos of game rules and techniques, students can come to class and quickly get into the movement and participate in the important activities, which is playing the game. In project-based learning, students may be exploring real-world problems or developing solutions only to realize that they need more knowledge on some skills or concepts. However, the needs will vary from student to student. In a flipped classroom, there is no need to spend time reintroducing concepts that are well established. They just need to be quickly presented and learned, and students can learn them using these videos. Instead, valuable class time can be used to deliver new concepts or for discussions. In short, there are endless opportunities as teachers for us to engage students more meaningfully in the classroom. We are limited only by our imagination. Given the many benefits of the flipped classroom, we urge you to bravely take that first step on this journey. You will find yourself being able to engage your students more meaningfully and deeply in the classroom. Boldly go where you have not gone before. I will now touch on the 4 pillars of flipped learning. Many teachers may really flip their classes by having students read text outside of class, watch supplemental videos, or solve additional problems. But to engage in flipped learning, teachers must incorporate the following 4 pillars into their practice. Singapore is famous for its many acronyms, PIE, CTE. Today we have another one for you, as FLIP. And FLIP stands for Flexible Environment, Learning Culture, Intentional Content, and Professional Educator. Planning lessons around the 4 pillars of flipped learning can help educators get the most out of this approach. Based on these four pillars, there are a total of 11 indicators that teachers can consider using to assess if they're getting the most out of flipped learning. Firstly, F for flexible environment. Because this method doesn't focus on the traditional lecture style, the static rows or student desks are no longer necessary, and teachers can prioritize and design more flexible arrangements in the physical classroom. Next, we have learning culture. The shift of instruction to one that is learner-centered will create an environment where students are actively involved in knowledge construction as they participate in and evaluate their learning in a manner that is meaningful to them on a personal level. Thirdly, intentional content. It is important that the teacher continually thinks about what materials should be taught and what materials students should explore on their own. This helps to ensure that classroom time is maximized for effective learning. Lastly, professional educator. Although flipped learning may make teachers less visible in the classroom, we still play an important part to ensure effective teaching and that learning takes place. In the classroom, it is important that the teacher consistently monitors the students' learning so that they provide appropriate support as and when needed. Flipped learning also requires teachers to be more flexible and responsive, and thus it is important to be reflective and be able to take on constructive feedback for improving your own teaching practices. And thank you for your kind attention. We hope you have enjoyed our presentation.